Right, in our first video, we realized that the PCLC, the TES, and the MSPSS data needs to be transformed. Let's start with the PCLC, or PTSD variable. This looks like it has some rather significant positive skewness. So let's start with, and we'll do two different transformations, and then we'll assess them and pick the one that worked the best. So we're going to go to Transform Compute Variable. We're going to do PCLC underscore. Let's start with a square root transformation. So I'm going to do underscore SQ just so I can keep track of what kind of transformation it was. Over here I'm going to click on arithmetic and I'm going to go down through this list of functions till I find the square root transformation. Now the question mark is highlighted, so I can just find my PCLC variable, double click that, it'll pop it into that question mark. Now it says it's going to give me the square root of PCLC. Next, let's do the same process again, but this time let's go and get a base 10 logarithm of it. So we are gonna clear this. We're gonna find that LG10, which returns the base 10 logarithm of the numeric expression. We're gonna find that PCLC and pop it in. We'll hit OK on that one as well. Now let's go and actually run Explore again and see which one of those is looking better. We can go ahead and reset that and find our two new variables. Remember, we want to go under plots, get rid of that stem and leaf, get a histogram. Let's also get some normality plots. And at that we should be good. So we can see the square root brought our skewness statistic down to 6.29. But the LG10, the base 10 logarithm, brought it down to 0.392. I'm liking this one better. One thing though, it's actually using all 256 cases. Only 10 people were missing data on this variable. So let's go back and run it list-wise so that we're actually using the cases that'll be used in the regression. So I'm going to go ahead and pop over the variables, the other variables that will appear in the regression, just to make sure we're looking at the same cases and we don't have some problem with just the cases that are going to end up being used. So let's look at those descriptives. Now our square root 1 is a 535 and our LG10 comes down to 0.310. Let's look at that histogram. It's looking a little better. I'd like to see these a little shorter, but I'm not too surprised. We look at our normal QQ plot, and those dots are fairly close to that line. We don't have too many that are scattered too far from it. I'd like them to be even hugging that line a little bit more, but that's not bad. All right, so let's check our other variables. So I've gone ahead and run the square root and the log transformation on the TES. Here's our original histogram of the TES. And then the square root transformation came out like this. It's moved that center a little bit over. It's a little bit more normal. And here's the log transformation. Now it's actually created significant negative skewness. So the log transformation on this is definitely not working. And if we go and look at the descriptives, we can see that the square root actually brought the skewness very close to 0. That one looks delightful. And the LG10 down here actually created significant negative skewness, actually worse skewness than we had originally in that variable. So we definitely won't use that transformation of it. So at this point, we're going to use the square root transformation of the TES and the log transformation of the PCLC. In the next video, we'll look at how to deal with the MSPSS.